Hello and welcome back to the N8N series. We have seen a lot of automations via the 21 days of no-code automation and now more than 60 days of N8N automation. But the real question is, what should be automated and what should not be, and why? Sometimes we may feel that, oh, let's get this automated. Okay, but you will have to evaluate whether automating something makes sense or not. And today we're going to see what are the 7 steps that we follow whenever we want to automate something. And I'm going to explain you each of this step one by one in detail so that you can follow this framework to understand if something needs to be automated, and if it needs to be automated, how do you go about doing that? So let's get started. The first step is capture your workflow. Now the second step is map the flow of information. I'll explain to you each of this step one by one in detail, but before, let's understand what are the 7 steps. The third step is identify decision points. The fourth step is going to be pinpoint bottleneck. Okay. The fifth step is going to be define triggers and actions. The sixth step is going to be select the right tools. Excuse my handwriting. The 7th step is going to be implement, test, monitor, and optimize. And this becomes a cyclic process. Now, one of the things that we'll have to keep in mind is automation is not do it once and forget it forever. It's a cyclic process. You have to understand whether the automation that you have already created is working at the best optimum capacity or not. And for that, you'll have to first implement it, test it to see if it's working fine, and then keep monitoring it and then optimize it. Now, to begin with, initially, you might want to monitor and optimize it very frequently, maybe once a week, and then you check it once in 2 weeks, and then once a month, and then maybe once a quarter or something like that. Because as and when models keep changing, as and when your requirements keep changing, your automation should also get optimized. One of the very simple example is you might be using some old model from OpenAI, okay? But there might be some new model from OpenAI or maybe from Gemini or some other platform that is giving you the best results. And that's where you'll have to understand whether the automation that you created 3 months ago is still making sense or not. Now, let's go in detail each of this step one by one. Now, the first step that we have is capture your workflow. What does that mean? Now, just think about the entire process that you want to automate and check in what is that you're doing right now manually. Okay, let's understand this with an example. Now, when someone fills out lead form, we usually download the response, send an intro email, notify the sales team, right? And then add the lead to our CRM or Google Sheets. Now, this is an example that we have taken. Whenever a lead fills a form on our website, right? We need to download that response, send an intro email to them, thanking them for filling the form, and we will be getting back to them very quickly. Notify the sales team so that the sales team can get in touch with them and get the requirements and then follow up and get the deal closed. Fourth one is add the lead to our CRM, or if we are using Google Sheets, then send it to Google Sheets. Second step in the 7-step process is map the flow of information. Now, what does that mean? The information is being collected from the form, and from form, we are going to send it to Google Sheets or CRM, right? So you can see here, input new lead details submitted in Google form. It could be any form. In this case, we are considering it to be a Google form. Okay, so flow of information is from form to sheet to Gmail because we are sending them an intro email. And then we are also informing our sales team, and then it is going to CRM. Now, this and this is repeated. We could use just one of it. Okay, or if you want it at both the places, that's also fine. right? That's the second step. Now, the third step is identify decision points. So what does this mean? Let's assume that the form is meant for service-based company. Now, if the service is automation consultation, then we might want to send them a different email. If the service is web application development, then we might want to send them a different email. Or let's assume the sales team is different for both of these services, right? That's when we are checking if the service is service type, we'll check, okay? And this will become automation, and this will become web app development. So this can have its own branch, this can have its own branch. And that's where we have to identify decision points. Now, this is a very simple example, but you can add your decision points basis your requirement. Okay, that's exactly what we are talking about in step 3. Let's move on, and we have to understand what is the bottleneck. Why are we automating this process? What is that we want to get via this automation? Okay, because one of the things that we have to understand is ultimately better results is always the desired output. Okay, so pinpoint bottleneck, manual email sending. One of the reasons why we want to automate is manual email sending slows the response time, not a good user experience, right? Sales team does not always know a new lead came in. If the sales team does not know a new lead came in because they have to manually go and check in Google Sheets or something like that, then that will delay a process. But if you inform them, notify them via email, via Slack, via WhatsApp, right? Whatever they are always using, then they will be always informed about any new leads that is coming in, and hence they will follow up. You can also have a system in place where once a new lead has come in, within 48 hours, you have to contact them and get the details, right? So that is the second step because of which we are automating. CRM data entry is repetitive and error prone. If a person, human, is copy pasting the data from Google Sheets into CRM, then it is error prone, right? And it is repetitive task. When you can automate, why not do it? Especially in cases like this. Now, these are the important points that we are going to check in step 7. Okay, now let's move on. Define triggers and actions is the 5th step in our 7-step process. Now, in this case, trigger is new Google form submission, and actions is instantly send personalized thank you welcome email, right? Second is add the lead info to Google Sheets or CRM, right? Third is notify the sales team via Slack, email, or even WhatsApp. Fourth one is add the lead to a nurturing sequence. Now, this could also be done. If you have a nurturing sequence in place, then you can send the lead email to that nurturing sequence so that they keep getting emails one after the other as to what is the importance of the service or product that you are offering to them and how does it help them, right? That's what is important. So that is the 5th step. We have to tell what is the trigger, what are the actions, okay, in case we have multiple. The 6th step is select the right tools. Why is this important? Now, if you see in N8N, we've got around 1000 plus integrations. Make has 3000 plus, and Zapier has 8800 plus or something like that. Okay, by the time this video goes out, it could also be 9000. We never know. Now, basis the tools that you have selected in the step 5, you'll have to see if those tools are available in the tools that you are going to use, which is N8N, Zapier, Make, or maybe Pabbly, Connect, or multiple other tools, right? You want to check if these platforms has those integrations or not. If you know APIs, then you could go ahead and use APIs directly on any of these platforms. But if you are a non-tech person, then this becomes very crucial for you to make decision. Okay, so you will check if Gmail is available or not, right? You will check if CRM that you're going to use is available or not. You will check whether Google Forms Sheets is available or not, right? And so on and so forth. So you will check what are the options available. And if you're building an AI agent, then N8N is the best place right now. Basis that, you're going to choose which is the platform that you're going to select, right? And that's select the right tools. Now coming to 7th step. Remember, in step 4, we pinpointed what are the bottlenecks because of which we want to automate. Now in the 7th step, we're firstly going to implement, we're going to test it, and we will see if whatever were the bottlenecks in step 4 are actually resolved or not. Okay, are we able to process the data without those bottlenecks or not, right? And that is monitor for us. Okay, we will keep monitoring it frequently. It could be to begin with weekly, and then bi-weekly, then monthly, and once in 2 months, and so on and so forth. And finally, when we monitor it, we will also optimize in case of possibility grid. That is the 7th step. So coming back, step number 1 is capture your workflow. Step number 2 is map the flow of information. Step number 3 is identify decision points. Step number 4 is pinpoint bottlenecks. Step number 5 is define action triggers and actions. Step number 6 is to choose the right tool which matches our requirement. And step number 7 is implement, test, monitor, and optimize. And that's the 7-step process you will have to follow if you want to get the best out of your automation process. Follow the 7 steps if you're working as automation consultant, and your clients will be wowed about it. If you feel this was valuable, please share it with your automation friends so that they can also get value out of this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.